we are going to speak about selecting director state enterprises through contests as a requirement for the efficient municipal HR management. And our speakers are the representatives of Reanimation Package of Reforms and also Anti-Corruption Council at the Kyiv City Mayor. Welcome on stage. Good afternoon. I'm Volodymyr Bruschenko, Deputy Head of the Council for Anti-Corruption Action at Kyiv City Mayor. In February, the year before the previous one, the Anti-Corruption Council was created. This is an advisory body at the Kyiv City Mayor. And the closest analogy of the Anti-Corruption Council is councils that are created at city administrations. This we don't have distribution functions. We can also provide some recommendations that the administrative body can take into account. And what is the specificity of the Anti-Corruption Council? Firstly, this is a professional advisory body that focuses its activity on the problems connected with corruption. Secondly, specific sphere of its competence is that it is headed by Kyiv city head. So how can the head of the city can head this advisory body to provide advice to himself? And this contradiction helps in the work of Anti-Corruption Council, because Kyiv city head takes part in the meetings of the council, and he takes part in voting. After the mayor votes, if he votes for, then he should sign the document, and when he signs the document, this document becomes an order. So the decisions are made, and due to his signature, these decisions are obligatory and binding decisions. And in the council, we realized the influence of the civil society at the local level, at the level of city, and also the Anti-Corruption Council focuses its activity on two major aspects. First, this is the reveal of corruption and creation of procedures to decrease the corruption risks. When we are speaking about the risks, we should remember that we are not a law enforcement body, and we cannot define whether the crime was committed, and we do not take objective and subjective side, and we do not consider it. We monitor the situation and we analyze the materials. We communicate with experts and public officials, and we consider whether there is a corruption risk in one or another case. And if we see high corruption risks, we provide our recommendations to the city mayor. These recommendations on corruption risks can be about firing of some official or to coordinate the activities in accordance with the legislation. So we try to remove these corruption risks. So we have some suspicion of crime, and if these materials are got, so we send them to law enforcement bodies. And about the procedures, this is important activity. In the course of our work, we understood that the biggest corruption problems arise when they are systemic in character. When, for example, not an individual official takes bribes. Of course, this is a problem, but when the system is not transparent and not effective, and it doesn't satisfy the needs of population, these officials just want to get, in a systemic manner, they create a system of corruption. And we try to overcome such situations by developing some procedures. So these are orders and decisions and schedules. So the conditions in which the power acts. So one of the examples of the procedure is the selection procedure of state-owned enterprises for communal property of Kyiv. And this is the order of vetting of directors of communal enterprises, enterprises that are the property of Kyiv City. According to the current legislation, the selection and nomination of heads of enterprises is the responsibility of a head of the city, the mayor. And we cannot change this legislation, but we can change the procedures of preliminary selection before the mayor appoints the head of enterprise. We propose to elaborate such a procedure. Before the mayor appoints one or another head of enterprise, all the nominees, those who they undergo contest provided by independent commission, and firstly, competent and mostly honest people should be selected. So two these conditions should be met, and here we may say about honest administration and why it is important. Of course, when a mayor appoints one or another head of communal enterprise or institution, preliminary work on this order is done in the city administration building. So the power of Kyiv elects, firstly, select and appoint the head of enterprise that will head communal property. And when we speak about satisfaction of the needs of Kyivans, society should be involved in the process of selection of candidates. When the head is selected, his management can be effective. Of course, we cannot take into account all the risks, and there should be some mechanisms and procedures that will envisage the following of the activities of the communal enterprise or institution. But this is the first step to involve the public and professional institutions in the activity of communal enterprises. Because all the activity connected with earning money for the public and the use of budget for Kyiv and the quality of services, it is connected with the communal institutions. And as I said, we developed a draft proposal, and according to this proposal, the main idea, the commission is created, and on this commission, we will have some deputies from different factions and also civil society representatives, and they select the heads of communal enterprises. And on the 15th of July, city mayor introduced the project of such proposal, but then it was reviewed by the factions and it underwent all coordination activities. And tomorrow there will be voting in the Kyiv city administration. We don't believe that this document is ideal, but we believe that they should vote for this document because it will improve the procedure of selection of heads of communal enterprises and institutions and will improve the activity of communal sector in Kyiv. That's why we call on the deputies of the Kyiv Council to vote and to support this document. Thank you. We liked your optimism, and we hope that your colleagues will support. Good afternoon. Mykhailo Serebryakov, and I'm an expert of the Reanimation Package of Reform and Anti-Corruption Council at Kyiv City Major. Dear colleagues, from school, even we know that there are 500 cities and towns in Ukraine, and there are communal enterprises in these towns and cities. And this is a normal activity, taking into account that not all the functions can be accomplished by commercial sector that is interested in gaining profit. In separate instances, such functions, there should be some social component. And the communal sector and the city power, they are the key players in this. And for 20 years, we have communal sector in cities, but the law on self-governance that was adopted in 1997, it created a basis for corruption in this sector. In Article 42 on self-governance of the Constitution, it is said that heads of enterprises in the cities, they are selected by the city mayor of the city. So we understand that the mayor is the legitimate head. The territorial community support him, but it doesn't mean that in this way corruption is prevented. And Kyiv, we remember Melchenko, Chernovetsky, Popov, and now our current mayor. So it only supports these negative tendencies and our concern over this. And we understand that we should minimize the corruption and we cannot change the law. This is the competence of Verkhovna Rada and Kyiv City Mayor and anti-corruption action at Kyiv City Mayor developed the proposal for the selection of directors of state enterprises through contests. So what is the difference of this procedure? Kyiv City Mayor, if this decision is adopted, will take decision as to the head, not by himself, but he will choose from two candidates that will be provided by a contest commission in order to establish the balance of forces. It is envisaged the differentiation of the candidates provided to these commissions. The maximum number of in Commission 15 is nominated by city mayor, 3 by the Department of Communal Enterprises, 1 from the city council head, and this can be changed any time because the order will be the same, and also the permanent commission will be established, and it will and 2/3 of deputies, they represented power that isn't party, and about half of deputies represent the current power. So they Sometimes opposition, sometimes the representatives of power dominate. So the representatives that on the commission, and one member of the commission is from a trade union, and there are no such, or they are inactive. So this member is nominated by the staff of the enterprise, two from the civil society, and they can be nominated by the anti-corruption action. And this is a consultative advisory body, but you shouldn't be confused. The majority is the activists that are not loyal to Kyiv City Mayor. And one is nominated by anti-corruption action that is headed by the representative of opposition, and each deputy faction of Kyiv City Council can nominate the person, and among 15 members of contest commission, 6 can be loyal to city mayor, and the rest are mostly independent. That's why the mayor will not dominate in the decision. So the commission proposes 2 candidates to the city mayor. Why not it is 1 candidate? We cannot change the law, and 3 or more, it's too much. In such a case, the city mayor will have some more broadened responsibility to nominate. And in such a case, of course, the criteria for the candidates, they should be honest, and also the best practices are implemented. The meetings of the commission are open, they are recorded, video recorded, so you can monitor the procedure. The voting is open, and in case if the commission is inactive, and this the architect also was, if the commission is not active, it is provided that the members are rotated, and it doesn't mean that the contest will be started all over. And it should be said that contest is not a panacea, but this is a chance to nominate and to find and nominate the best head of the communal enterprise. In order that this mechanism work, civil society through its subjects should adhere to these commissions, and the public should provide candidates to the factions of the Kyiv City Council in order to ensure control and monitoring in the course of vetting procedure. So we should monitor the information via internet, and all the contest so all the procedures of the contest will be on the site of Kyiv City Administration that will provide Kyivans the opportunity to assess by themselves the activity of the contest commission and whether they really choose the best candidates and propose these nominees to the city mayor. And this order was made twice as an experiment for 2 communal enterprises, one of which Kyiv was Transservice.
I mention it because it is a transport agency, and so to say, a profitable agency. That's why we, as members of the Anti-Corruption Council, devoted special attention to it. I am not ready to assess the newly appointed director of this institution. He has been working for just 2 months now, but nevertheless, we should include him to our team. Now we have at least 10 candidates who are in the process of undergoing this anti-corruption competition. Good afternoon. I'm Oksana Velychko from member of the Reanimation Package of Reform Council and member to the Anti-Corruption Council under the City Mayor. In our country and city distorted and spoiled by corruption, there are a lot of very profitable positions, official positions, where CEOs can benefit from well-developed corruption schemes. That's why usually we see a lot of candidates willing to come to position of the CEO of any municipal enterprise to a salary of 5,000 hryvnia. And we quite often see people coming to the interview for occupying this position with a cell phone which costs 20,000 hryvnia instead of 5. The only way is to establish good procedure and create transparent competition. Thus, we will be able to ensure that CEO of a municipal enterprise is a person who has an ambition to do something for the sake of the local community. Municipal enterprises provide services to Kyivites. So we have transport services, we have dentistry services, municipal clinics. We have local movie theaters, etc. Quite often, those municipal enterprises are very low profitable, and in order to earn money for the city, we need to bring new people to these municipal enterprises. We should have those people as directors of those municipal enterprises who will try to make our city better, to provide more quality services, and whose motivation will be different. And we expect that tomorrow, on April 14th, when local MPs will vote for the procedures, those people who came to the municipal council to defend their own interests and to promote their own interests, nevertheless, that at least some of them are interested in improving municipal infrastructure. In many countries, there are not so many municipal enterprises. The services are outsourced to private businesses. And we believe that those municipal enterprises should be even better than private businesses. Quite often, we have CEOs of those enterprises without experience, and those people who wish to earn money for themselves. As of today, we have several interesting and positive examples. For example, Kyiv Transport Service was appointed in January. This is Artem Shamrai. He is a lawyer. He never worked for this sector. Probably it would be difficult for him. So we introduced regular meetings with the CEOs of local municipal enterprises. We invite them to the reanimation package of reform, and we discuss reforms in the sector. We cannot rely upon one person and hope that this person will change the situation in the sectors. I think we should do this together. That's why I encourage our municipal MPs to vote for this document. Dear colleagues, I wish you success with your good initiative, unlike it happened with other competitions when good decisions are blocked with court suits. Thank you, dear colleagues, and the next briefing will be